G'day guys, today we're going to go through everything that I've used to race in my 2025 season, from shoes to boards, gloves, helmets, wheels, everything. I get a lot of questions about this, so we're going to put it all in one video just to give you the best idea of what's going on at the pointy end of downhill skateboard racing in 2025. Before we get started, let's get a quick shout out to professional kids, especially Tees and John, for lending me all their expensive camera equipment to make this video. Go over to their YouTube channel and go watch their new movie, Euro Truth. Man, it's so good. It's like one of the best representations of what a Euro tour will look like. If you want to show people what you do as a downhill skateboarder, you know, and maybe they don't skate, or your friends, family, go show them Euro Truth. It's everything. You know, everything that you need to know is in that movie. So head over to their YouTube. They'll appreciate it. Drop them a like and comment that you know, they're the best color graders and filmmakers in the industry going right now. Anyways, let's get started. So we start with shoes. I've been riding Jordan 1s, Nike Air Jordan 1s, mids, not the talls, not the highs, just the mids, for almost 10 years now. They say it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I pretty much abide by that. I always saw Zach and Rolo and all those guys that I really looked up to riding these. I tried them, love them. Wouldn't really change anything until I started seeing everyone riding the Taichons, the Adidas Taichons. So I jumped on and got a set. I really like these shoes. They fit my foot much better. They're much more comfortable than the Jordans. But I don't know, I took them to race in Utah, but I bought the Jordans as a backup. And I ended up liking the Jordans more. These are just a bit soft for me. But if you have narrow feet like I do, these will fit you much better. I can wear them all day. The Jordans, I found myself getting tired. They do break in nice, and I think these are a little bit cheaper too. They are a bit soft, but for day-to-day skating, I do prefer these over the Jordans. But I remember in Utah, man, I just couldn't press as hard into these ones as I could these ones. Just the higher top, and I think they're a bit stiffer in the heel here, and I really like that for the bridge corner. I could really push into the shoes, and they gave me a lot of support. Maybe I just got weak ankles, I don't know. But I do still swear by these for racing, although I think the Taichons might make me skate a little bit better. That's just how it is. They also help a lot more in the push, I believe. A bit of a stiffer shoe, slap that ground a bit harder. But yeah, look, if they're good enough for Mike, they're good enough for me. Alright, what's next? We got, all these shoes got Becker brake soles. They're the best in the industry right now. It was Free Brake, now it's Becker. So yeah, if you're looking for brake soles, these are the best ones. These are a little bit used, but they do work great. Alright, leathers. I've been using the Xavier leathers for going now like 11 years. No, 12 years I've been using the Xavier leathers. They are the most affordable and highest quality that you can get right now in the industry. Xavier's been doing it since forever. He's a really good at what he does, and he does it for a great price point, and they get them shipped and made to your house in 2 weeks. So, you know, what more can you ask for? I've been using the Stefano format, or it's in between Stefano and Format 4. It's 0.7 millimeters, 0.7 millimeters, and this particular one is a kangaroo suit. I find the kangaroo leather holds up a bit more to sort of abrasions, but on a bigger impact, it won't take as much as the cowhide. Is the kangaroo worth it? If you have the money, absolutely, I will go for the kangaroo. But if you want to save, you know, $200, the cow's almost identical. So yeah, I do like the kangaroo better. I feel like it lasts longer, breaks in nicer, it's a bit softer. But yeah, so 0.7 millimeters top and bottom. I run the accordion knees. By the time this video comes out, maybe we will have announced that I will have my own leather format. So if you want to rock my suit, my design, my pattern, not necessarily colors, but the way that I have my suit laid out with the stretch panel and all that sort of stuff, you will be able to buy that. Hopefully, by the time this video comes out, that will be available. Yeah, if you are into racing, a 0.7 suit is kind of what you need. The only problem is you might need one or two if you crash, but they are much faster. much more maneuverable. It's almost like wearing nothing. It kind of takes away from that whole, ick, if you will, of wearing leathers. These feel like pajamas, and when you crash, sometimes they also feel like pajamas, but that's not the point. The point is going fast. Okay, so next we have gloves, or in my case, mitts. So I've been, I guess, known for wearing mitts, fingerless gloves, when I skate, when I race. There's no actual reason why. I just thought they looked cooler. When I was snowboarding, I would always wear mitts, and when I came back to racing downhill, I was like, why is no one wearing mitts? Until I saw some people from Argentina riding and racing in them. So my friend Volpe from Argentina, he makes this brand, Volpium. Probably the best quality mitts that you can buy, if not the only mitts that you can buy. Look, these things, man, they're incredible. All handmade, handcrafted, Argentinian leather, beautiful work, always custom. HC. He did my roller games ones as well. Probably some of my favorite gloves that I've ever worn. So shout out Volpium. But this season, if you've noticed, I switched to backs to fingers, and that's because when I was doing my race starts, I moved to going kind of like a sprinter start style, and with the mitts I couldn't really balance that well, so I've gone back to gloves, and so I have these gloves I've been rocking all season. These gloves are from my own brand. It's called Onsite. More on that later, but these gloves will be available very shortly. They're definitely the most comfortable and most durable gloves that I've ever used, so stoked about that. On them I have Nemo pucks and a mixture of palmies, risers, and scythe risers that I've been using this season. The puck risers is a new thing from a couple years ago. I mean, if you're not blessed with long arms, then it's almost crucial that you use them. I am blessed with long arms and I use them anyway. I just like it. They feel good. Alright. Moving on to helmets. Oh, look at this thing, bro. Come on now. This is an Ironhead DR3 with a custom paint job by Skip at Aztec Composites. Won't go into it too much, but the fastest helmet on the racetrack right now, tested and proven. So yeah, this shell's made by Zach Maiden at Ironhead Helmets, and then sent over to Aaron Skippings, and he does all the insides and the safety and all that sort of stuff with me, and he also did this sick ass paint job. Unfortunately, I didn't get to wear it at every single race this year. I had an accident in the Isle of Man and broke this exact helmet, and had to go get it refitted and repainted, and so for that race I wore a TSG, thanks to Adam Westfall, shout out to Adam. But yeah, this is the go-to helmet. No, you cannot buy one, unfortunately. I mean, you can buy one, but they cost $5,000. So yeah, my most prized possession, honestly. Zach only gifts these to people, so if you're worthy, you'll receive one, and if not, I'm sorry. Moving on to decks. So I started this year riding from Madrid Skateboards, and I was riding not this exact deck, but the carbon copy. This is a Madrid Ghost, my old pro model from Madrid, and carbon wrapped by Max Caps at Prototype Racing. So I was actually riding Oscar's version of this, which is exactly the same board. This model here is my 2024 board, the undefeated board from the 2024 season. So I kind of came into the season and parted ways with Madrid in April, and pretty much didn't have enough time to adapt to a new board before racing started. So I used Oscar's version of this. So this is the Madrid Ghost stock shape wrapped in carbon fiber. So I used to run it on a 20.5 inch wheelbase. Yeah, that's about that. I mean, all the specs I can put up on the screen for you there, but I used to ride mine on 20.5, and yeah, didn't go too well, to be honest. And then I came back after those races and I switched to this. This is a custom 9.81 shape. Nico from 9.81 was kind enough to let me do my own shape. It's very similar to the Ghost that I just showed you, but with a few tweaks for 2025. So it's a little bit narrower, it's a little bit shorter, has a little bit smaller wheelbases. I'll put all those specs on screen. It's like I said, a little bit narrower in the front and back, and the shape in the nose has changed a little bit, but it still has that signature tail that we all know and love. This was a huge change. Although it doesn't seem like it, the performance of this board is drastically different to the other board. This board is much stiffer and weighs just a slight bit less, and has a bit more concave. So the other one had 8mm concave, this is 10mm. So it's a bit more concave than I've been used to riding, and that was definitely notable. But what I really noticed was how stiff this one was compared to the other one, torsionally. I mean, the torsional stiffness was delightful, to say the least. It was really cool to ride on a board made by Nico. I do believe he's making some of the best boards on the market right now. And yeah, like I said, he was kind enough to do me a custom. I did speak with him briefly about the possibility of maybe doing a limited run of 10 boards in this shape for people who wanted to buy them. I know there's a couple of you out there. So keep an eye out for that. It will be a limited run. I don't ride for 9.81. Nico is a good friend, and like I said, he did me a solid by getting me on one of his boards. And you'll see guys like Diego and past Greg, all the best guys in the world have at some point ridden a 9.1, and there is a reason for that. I mean, immediately when I started riding this board, I noticed that many more lines through the corners became available to me, and it's a very hard thing to describe, but I guess the way that I can describe it to you is that I would point the board into the apex, and what I'd be used to is like pointing it in, setting the line, and then running that line through the apex out to the exit. With this board, I would throw it into the apex, hit the apex, and then the board would be like, all right, so where do you want to go now? Do you want to ride it all the way out to the grass? Do you want to cut it in a little bit more? And I just felt so much more solid on top of my board through the exit, especially pushing the limit. And that was a huge change to me. It is still a bit heavy, because it is wood, like I said. But I like that. It's what I've been used to up until very recently. And when I say recently, I mean very recently, I got on this thing. It's not my full-time board, but it is very interesting. This is a Rocket simplex. The guys at Rocket were very kind enough to send this to me. I hit up Danny about the simplex, or I mean Rocket boards in general, because I've never ever ridden one of these like super high performance light foam core, whatever they are, boards. This thing weighs nothing. It's ridiculous. I've never had a board like this before in my life, and it performs very differently. Like Danny probably already knows, I went out skating with Clarke the other day, and my first ever run on this board, I tried to skate it like the other one, and it just completely disagreed with me. I threw it sideways, and the board just went like it doesn't weigh anything. So I kicked it out way too hard, and the board just exploded out from underneath my feet, and I'm just like shook. I haven't crashed in a long time, and this completely caught me off guard. But it is very interesting. To be fair, I was riding freshies and I didn't have a toe stop, so you know, it was a bit different. But I think this is something that I could get used to. The light board is amazing, especially off the line. It's I don't know. It's a very strange experience, and something that I'm very keen on exploring more. But like I said, with more races coming ahead, this is not my full-time board. I do take a while to adjust to a board, and I like to, you know, really get to know it before I start to put it on the racetrack, because thinking about my setup is not something that I want to be doing while I'm racing. I want to be dialed on the setup and just think about the lines and how I can, you know, improve lap time throughout the weekend, rather than having to tweak gear and change things here and there with my setup per se. So this is something that will be, you know, used more during the winter, but it's very cool to have something like this. So thank you to Rocket for sending me this simplex. All right, back to back to the main setup for now. So we're going to talk about the trucks. As you can see, these are not your regular Rogues. These are HC1s. How good. So the HC1s, obviously they're coming in a different colorway. The specs of them are pretty much identical to the new batch of Rogues that just dropped. So they are 100 to 110 millimeters spaceable, 55 degrees in the front, 23 in the back, but they do feature the new low base plates and the new larger pivot sphericals. So they are different. So if you did get the new batch of Rogues that dropped just before these, they are identical. Yeah, having a Pro truck is pretty much the only thing that I didn't have in terms of Pro model gear, so we kind of completed the setup now. So thank you so much, Zach and Rogue, for that. It's pretty special to have, you know, your name on everything in one career. So yeah, big milestone for me. And they are very cool, and there will be more coming soon. Very limited batch. So get them while you can on the Rogue website. There will be a lot of notice before that happens. So I have mine set up with blue cone, blue barrel, green barrel, pink barrel, 23 degrees. The degrees in the back is something that I like to change and play with a lot. So I'll go up for a slower track with lots of turns. For example, in Utah, I was running a 28 degree base plate, but at Turkey, I'll wedge it down to 20. And then you can also play with the distance between the torque block and the trucks, and that's another way that I like to tune and change my trucks. So torque block more towards the front if there's lots of turning, lots of tuck leaning and whatnot, and torque block more on top of the trucks if there involves a lot more sliding. So you kind of see the relation that I have here. I just have it a little bit in front right now. That's where I like to keep it normally, but I'll go and move from there depending on the track that we're racing on. I have one riser in the back. It's a 1/4 inch riser in the back because I don't have flush mounts on the front of this board like I used to have on the Madrid. So I like to have my back always a little bit higher than my front. A flat washer in the front, cupped in the back. That's pretty standard. That's how the trucks will come if you buy them. They'll come with this base setup, and then you can tune them however you like as well. If you want to put a pink barrel in the front, or you want to put a white barrel instead of the green. But I like it like this. It's my preferred way to ride, and then if I need to change anything, this is where I'll start from. A lot of people ask me how you clean these trucks. That's a completely separate video that we'll have to make another time because it is quite extensive process, but it is very important. So for all the Rogue riders out there, don't be afraid to ride your trucks in the rain. They still go great in the rain. I mean, just check the last WDSC event. They do go great in the rain. I mean, three of the 4 guys in the finals at the WDSC race in Utah are all on Rogues. So yeah, they do go great. Don't be afraid. It's not too difficult to clean them, but it is a bit fiddly. So that's another video that we'll get to another time. Alright. This thing. A lot of people ask me what this is. Lights up. This is a race box. So this is a new thing that a lot of the top guys have been using in 2025. Essentially what it is, it's a GPS tracking system that has been used for, you know, motorbike racing, car racing, electric skateboard racing, whatever. You can use it for anything, and it works great for what we do in downhill skateboard racing as well. So basically it's a GPS device. This is the race box micro. You connect it to a 9 volt battery, and you can set a track using an app on your phone. And then once you cross the line on the waypoint that you set, it will start tracking until you cross the finish line. So you can create any track anywhere in the world on any road, and you can get your top speed, your sector times, you can create your own sectors, lap time, all this sort of thing, braking G-force, lean angle. So it's kind of like every single run you do is a qualifying lap, timed, and got all the data from it. You can compare lap to lap. You can compare with your friends if you share data and see who's faster in which sector. So for racing, it's the perfect thing. So I'd use this all day on practice days, and sometimes even on the qualifying day as well. Just trying different lines and getting definitive answers on what is the fastest way from point A to point B. So they do set you back a little bit. They're about 150 to 200 depending on which ones you buy. But if you are a racer or someone who wants to get into racing, it's completely worth the money, because then you can take it to your home spot, train, try things, and get definitive answers instead of just guessing. Be like, oh yeah, that feels faster than that. But yeah, so this is a game changer for this year. You'll see all the top guys have these on their boards, whether they have them like up here at the front or different versions. I think Antoine has one that you can stick on your helmet. So yeah, super worth the money. And so yeah, if you're into racing, this is what you got to be doing these days. All right, moving on to wheels. Obviously, don't need to say much here. Venom Magnums, always best wheels out. That's it. 74, 74A, 78 millimeters. These red ones go crazy. I really didn't think we could make it better, and then we made the red ones, and we did. Yeah, it's what it is. They're amazing. Bearings, I'm using right now. I have some old Zealous in because I've been riding in the rain a lot, but typically for racing, qualifying, and any sort of performance riding, I'll be using Quay nano bearings. So they're the race ones. They come in the white package. They have the big, thick bearing outers and the little balls inside. I rock with them. They're the fastest bearings that you can get on the market right now. Shout out to other Tiago, and all my homies over there at NMB. These are the best bearings that you can get right now. But Zealous, also great bearings if you just going day to day. But it is, a lot of people say, bearings doesn't matter as long as they roll. Sure, I agree. But when it comes down to, seconds, half a seconds, tenth of seconds, just get the best gear you can, and if it's not going to make you slower, it's going to make you faster. So just invest in it. It's good. Use them for racing. Take them out for free riding. It makes a difference. So yeah, finally, I think we'll move on to all the other accessories that we have on the board. Obviously, scythe grip, Venom torque block. Got some screws on the board. I've switched over to these sort of set screws. You can see here. Shout out to Owen for getting me on those. Scythe grip tape, scythe foot stop. I still rock the big one, and then obviously the scythe toe stop. We are going with foot stop and toe stop now. I know toe stops used to be foot stops, but now toe stops are actual toe stops. So I got the scythe toe stop and the scythe foot stop, keeping me locked in the front there like that. And yeah, that's my shit.